choose chopped tomatoes. Choose chili sauce. Choose from a lot of olive oils. But to understand why we're actually a bit rubbish at choosing, head for the aisle labelled spreads and preserves. In a famous experiment in California, shoppers were offered the choice of 6 kinds of jam or 24 kinds of jam. The people offered less choice bought more jam, which gave rise to the conclusion that people get freaked out if they're offered too much choice. So is that why 60% of households have never switched energy company? As a result, the regulators have cut the number of tariffs dramatically. Is that why we waste an estimated £5 billion a year by being on the wrong type of mobile contract? And what about choice in, say, the health service? Under the Choose and Book system, you can pick the hospital where you'll be treated as an outpatient. My fellow shopper David Boyle is an expert. He studied choice in schools, hospitals and social care for the government. And how do the public tend to choose their service? By picking the nearest one.
It's important to them that their relatives should be able to visit them in hospital regularly. They're not going to be miles and miles away. So, for schools, for instance, they need to get there in the morning. So if they don't have proper transport, then really the choices are much, much narrower for them.
He found that a majority of people like the idea of choosing their public service, but they seem just as happy if they didn't get a choice at all. This Harley Street cardiologist reckons it's because there are some areas of life where we don't want to make our own decisions.
When people are ill and vulnerable, it's not the same as choosing a pasta or an olive oil or a holiday in the Mediterranean. It's life and death, it's important. People want to be able to put their trust into a healthcare professional who has their interests at heart and says, I think you need this and here's why.
And it turns out there are as many theories about decision making as there are pasta sauces on this shelf. We tend to be overly optimistic. We suffer from inertia. We can only process 7 pieces of information at once. In fact, far too many theories for me to bother picking which one's the right one.